morning, good afternoon, good evening, dear ones. Hi. So I said I would be back here more often and not as frequently as I intended, but you may have been seeing lots of activity all around the place from the Institute because we are putting a lot of energy into this very beautiful shift in the focus of the Institute service and, of course, my role in that. And I wanted to just do a little check in and say hi and share a bit more about what it means that I am now really embodying the role of teacher of teachers. So we have, always empowered women in particular to be the priestess mystic leader, to step into their authority, their inner authority, but their authority to lead and to show up to their service, not as imitators or replicators, but really embodying their why. And we're just supercharging that now. So what I am focusing on, and the focus of our offers, is around two central archetypes. One is the High Priestess and the other is Ācārya. And Ācārya is the Sanskrit word for teacher. The teacher who teaches not just by the wisdom that they offer, but by the way that they live, which, if you know anything about me and the work of the Institute, this idea of congruence between our faith and our actions in the world is like central to everything. There's no point saying one thing and doing another, because energetically, what you are offering has like no resonance. So I wanted to tell you a little bit more about both of these offers and what it means for you if you have been with the Institute for a while or you're considering training with us. Really, this is an evolution. It's not a change. Both High Priestess and Ācārya have been programs that the Institute has offered for years now. But there's a very big difference, especially with Ācārya. So I'll start with that one. Our Certified Intuition Teacher Program, which is opening for enrollments next week to those who are on our mailing list and June 30 to everyone else, is a program that I have previously only offered to graduates of our professional practitioner training of the method or the third level program. But for the very first time this year, we are opening Ācārya to anyone who wants to do this groundbreaking, soul-shaking qualification. And it's really a qualification in three parts. The first is the rights to teach and to share the contents of that book, Spiritually Fierce, which is and has been a program that I have offered for personal intuition development. We have a revolutionary approach to intuition development in the Institute, which begins with being trauma-informed. Just turn my heater off so it's not making lots of noise. Embodied, using the biology as the technology of our intuition, understanding the foundational aspects of nervous system fitness that are required in order for us to access deep states of intuition for ourselves. And so that is the first part. The second part is that we learn how to work with subconscious fear to increase access to our own deep states of non-local intuition. The program itself focuses on supporting you to become incredibly skilled in teaching this most revolutionary approach to intuition, which is an incredible asset for your service, to have the intellectual property rights to teach the contents of Spiritually Fierce. And without doubt, this program has changed thousands of lives. It is a truly profound way to go beyond the New Age trinkets, the superstitions of what is largely offered in intuition development. And we are so proud of this work. This work is something that has legacy. We've been teaching it now for close to a decade. It is a best-selling book. It is a process that is just the only true way for us to activate that deepest state of intuition. The program is more than that, though. So, yes, you will be qualified to teach this revolutionary approach, the praxis and philosophy of intuitive intelligence, but it is also a way to embolden your teacher archetype. To give you everything I know from my many decades of being a teacher, both in the spiritual world but also in the academic world, to really give you my trade secrets, to empower you with the skills that turn you from a good teacher to a life-changing, soul-shaking teacher, and to build a program of your own that might interweave the teachings of intuitive intelligence into whatever your business's focus is. So you're learning incredible program design. You get to take all that I have learned over the many years of teaching and put it into your own format, or you can simply take this program and share it with the world. And that is an incredible add-on to whatever you do. So you're learning more about pedagogy, metacognition, program design, but also those really most vital aspects of your own teacher archetype, that when you become intimate with that, you can elevate and trust yourself to lead. Teaching is a skill, it is an art form, and it needs to be nurtured, it needs to be encouraged, and to give yourself that permission for professional development, to elevate what you offer above the noise. There are a bazillion programs out there, but the ones that have legacy, the ones that have lasting impact and stay with your students long after the program is finished, is a far more rare thing to find. And I want to empower you to really embody this teacher energy, because you are needed, dear one. The teacher is the wisdom keeper. The teacher is the one who can bring a revolution in consciousness that we are so desperately in need of. So I will be sharing more about Ācārya as we get closer to our enrollment opening. The program itself runs for 3 months from September. And it is, it's going to be exceptional. It is a more robust version of the program. It is really filling in the blanks of not only how to be an incredible teacher, but how to sell your programs, how to be heard. And so you're probably, or hopefully, seeing lots of activity through all of our social media platforms around this program, because it is open now to anyone who wants to participate. You do not have to be a graduate of any of our professional certifications, which is super exciting. The other program that I am seriously excited about is High Priestess, and this is a postgraduate program, at least for now. Stay tuned for updates on that for next year. But this year I am welcoming in a small group of women who have come through our professional practitioner training and have demonstrated a commitment and a yearning to be the high priestess of their own temples. And this program is for temple builders, for those who want to build and support their own communities in even more powerful ways. So even though it's a program, in this year, it's actually far less about me telling you what to do or how to do it, and far more about nurturing your own temple. What is it that matters to you about it? Why do you do what you do? And how do you elevate your work, again, above the noise? How do you become so clear in your inner authority that you can step into leadership, that you can take your place as the high priestess and gather those who you are intended to serve in this lifetime? No more hiding. We are done with women in hiding from their own power. And both these programs offer you an opportunity to come out of any fear response you might have around being that magnetic leader. And that is something that women really struggle with. And it is no surprise, right? We've had 8,000 years of patriarchy. And an aspect of that I am most passionate about supporting women to release from their subconscious is our spiritual connection to God, or to the one mind. Perhaps the most dangerous aspect of patriarchy has been the disenfranchisement or the distrust that has been placed in women and placed upon women around their connection to God consciousness, and this idea that we are sinful, this idea that we are lesser than, this idea that we need mediation between us and God because we are not as privileged, which is actually a total inversion and perversion of the truth, right? So that we are the wisdom keepers, we are the vessels of the divine, and this Shakti power, this divine feminine power, is the most direct access point to oneness. So what a great project of patriarchy, right? To flip that script and pervert the truth and to position us as sinful, as lesser than. And this takes work, it takes community, it takes commitment to shift that psychic wound that so many of us carry around this belief that we are somehow unworthy or lesser than. And even if that's not a top of mind conscious belief, it is playing out in the collective unconscious and undoubtedly in our own subconscious programs. So we sit back, we accept less than we're worth, we let others take the lead, mostly men, so that we don't have to meet that discomfort. And that has been exploited over thousands of years to make it seem like natural order. This is the status quo. This is just the way it is. And nothing could be further from the truth. So I am so excited to be actively stepping into supporting women leaders in this spiritual world, women with integrity, with congruence, with inner authority, who are empowering others, not replicating the abuses of power that we see so often in the contemporary spiritual world. Ācārya, our teacher training, is for those who want to transfer knowledge, embodied wisdom to those that they serve. And High Priestess for the temple builders who are bringing their own lens to the idea of temple building and empowering them to be unafraid of that inner authority and their right to take up space and to lead. The women who are enrolling in High Priestess are so exceptional, and I know and love them all. And we are almost full. We are beginning this program in September. And perhaps keep a little space in your mind for next year's intake, which will be open to all. It will not be offered as a postgraduate program, but rather something you can join regardless of whether you've done any other training with the Institute. But this year, Ācārya is our open to all program, and it is part of that commitment to expand the ripple in the field, to take this work further and wider, to debunk the BS around what intuition is and to mainstream it, to bring the science, the evidence front and center, that this is a process of energy psychology. It's a process, yes, of mysticism, but it is also something that is evidence-based, trauma-informed, embodied, and practical, really, really practical. And it is so important to me that more and more people have this wisdom so they can offer it to others. So taking that leap from training practitioners to training teachers and temple builders is just the next step, right? I feel so honored and excited that in the pause that I was invited to take at the beginning of this year and how the Institute serves, that this is what has emerged. And we are working our butts off right now. We are investing time, money, and energy to make sure that you have the information, you know what is coming, really showing up in a big way. I think that after COVID and burnout and hitting perimenopause, I was in survival mode for a while, as I've shared before. And even when I started to emerge from that and started to bloom again, there was still a finite amount of energy that I had to be able to really expand the Institute's profile and growth. And this fire that I had in those first sort of 5, 6, 7 years was really diminished by all these cluster of events, both internally and externally. And now I am in this place where I can see the horizon and I can see the future with such excitement and joy and readiness. And, still navigating being now 47, turning 48 this year, all of the joys of perimenopause, and really trusting that there is still plenty for me to do. In fact, more for me to do, but in a more refined and intentional way. And that is, I don't know, maybe the benefit that comes with aging, having been offering the work of the Institute for 11 years next month. It is, something that really brings with it an embodied wisdom that we only learn by doing. We only learn by trying and failing, right? In so many different ways, and being willing to explore and evolve. We're a research institute. That is our commitment. So we are continually evolving, and being transparent and showing you my evolution is a really big part of that commitment. That it's not a one and done, like I make this program and there it is and it's perfect and it's polished and it will never change, right? I am a work in progress. My relationship to God is a work in progress. And finding, I think, that balance between knowing that what we offer is world class, gold standard, it is exceptional training, but also we humbly acknowledge that it will continue to grow and evolve, because that is our path. If we are on the path of awakening, it feels like an incredibly rich and beautiful time. And even though the world is uh, perhaps more in crisis than it has ever been in the 11 years that I have been in this role, it is not a reason to hide. It is not a reason to dampen our capacity to serve. It is not a reason to give up or to, shake our fists at God, but rather to rally, to find that inner authority, and to recognize in the law of mentalism, all is one, that we have that responsibility to show up in the way we want the world to be reflected back to us, right? So empowering women to step into their teacher, to step into their high priestess archetype, is now and has always been my commitment to contributing to a new earth, a new world for us all. That is pretty much what I wanted to say. I am so excited. I'm excited that in 2 months, just over 2 months, I will be traveling to the US and Mexico. I will be connecting with sisters. I will be getting to share wisdom and receive wisdom and having a really big, bold adventure. It is super, super exciting. Lots of special activities as part of that, and I'll be sharing more with you. I'll share the links to the programs that I have mentioned as well. As I said, High Priestess is only open to our graduates. We are pretty much full. I think there's space for one more interview for that, but otherwise that one is pretty much done and dusted. And Ācārya, which is opening next week for pre-launch enrollments for those who are on the list. And so you can download the prospectus, get all the information before we're ready to open. And yeah, just so excited for the possibilities for your service in doing this work in a really big way, of being part of the intuition revolution, that language of consciousness that connects us to the truth that all is one. So happy to be here with you, and I will be back soon, much sooner, I promise. So much love.